Welcome to a demonstration of metrics that matter. During the session today, we will focus on looking at the metrics that matter technology, but also giving a brief overview of Knowledge Advisors and what the technology can do. Knowledge Advisors is a learning analytics company. Our software, Metrics That Matter, helps organizations reduce administrative costs and reduce wasted learning and help them increase productivity. We use learning and development to help organizations drive business outcomes to ensure that learning is impacting the bottom line. We also want to make sure that overall we're helping improve the effectiveness and business impact of learning. We also have experts on staff who help organizations design specific solutions intended to be worked with the data. Metrics is the leading learning analytics system. It's the only system that fully automates the entire level 1 through 5 evaluation process, including Kirkpatrick and Phillips. It's a world-class evaluation system with powerful analytic tools to provide comprehensive reporting. Metrics is a software as a service. It is a cloud-based system that is rooted in science and best practices. Knowledge Advisors has a number of individuals that sit on our advisory board, such as Kirkpatrick, Phillips, Burson, Brinkerhoff. While we are methodology agnostic, we certainly want to incorporate all of these methodologies into our technology and bring it to the day-to-day practitioner. In addition, Metrics That Matter is capable of integrating with any LMS, and we have a number of different benchmarks that are available within this system, so organizations can compare themselves against other organizations that are doing similar types of training, as well as other organizations within similar industries. The technology itself is self-sufficient and it's fairly flexible so that you can configure it to best meet your needs. How Metrics That Matter actually works. Typically, once Metrics That Matter is integrated with an LMS, class information and learner demographic information is sent into Metrics That Matter. Metrics can also be implemented in a manual mode, but typically, since we want to help reduce administrative burden, most organizations opt to integrate with their LMS. Class information is within MTM. MTM then automates the data collection, storing, and reporting process. The event evaluation is sent out to participants immediately after training to get feedback around quality indicators, satisfaction, learning effectiveness, job impact, and business results. We also have an instructor evaluation that can be sent to the instructor immediately after training. While not utilized across all training, it can often be helpful when looking at new courseware to understand if they had the right materials, if it was the right audience for the class, and if the students were prepared. We also do level 3 evaluations both to the participant and the manager. The follow-up evaluation goes out to the participant typically 30 days, 60 days, 90 days after training, and gets to some of those impact and result indicators that we were predicting on the post-event evaluation. It's also a way to ensure that the participants are receiving post-class support that they need to apply the training back on the job. The manager evaluation is sent out at the same time as the follow-up evaluation and also captures data around impact and results, but from the manager's perspective. It's a great way to validate the data that the participant is providing. Provide some reinforcement on the support side to ensure the manager is aware of the training that the participant attended and that they can provide the time, resources, and appropriate support to ensure that the training is applied. Once that data is collected, it is then stored in Metrics That Matter and becomes available for reporting and dashboarding. With that, I actually jump into the technology, and I'm going to walk you through the student experience, how the data actually gets collected within the system, and then what that looks like with reports within MTM. The student would see when they click on a link to complete an evaluation after training. The first page is a demographic page. Demographics are really intended to help organizations collect data specific to the student to help cut and slice the data. Some examples that we often see are tenure, department, and region, but it can certainly be customizable depending on the organization. Once student provides their demographic information, they're taken directly to the evaluation. This example of our standard post-event instructor-led evaluation. As part Metrics Matter subscription, all organizations receive access to our standard Smartsheet templates. Include different templates around different learning methodologies, such as e-learning, online facilitated, conferences. It also includes the post-event, the follow-up, and the manager. On the Smartsheet, that about 5 questions are actually geared towards level 1 satisfaction. The majority of the questions on this evaluation move into levels 2 through 5, looking at learning effectiveness, job impact, business results, and then the section on support tools, again, making sure that the manager and the participant are setting some expectations prior to training and that there will be follow-up after training. Once the participants provide their feedback within the Smartsheet, all that data is then stored within MTM. What you see here is what an administrator or a reporting user would see once they log into MTM. You'll note the landing page has a dashboard. The dashboard is really great because it provides a nice graphical summary of the data that's been collected within MTM. The board also allows organizations a single data warehouse to look at their effectiveness data, so the data that's collected natively within MTM around levels 1 through 5, efficiency data, which typically comes from the LMS around activity, cost, and volume, and then finally outcome data. This can be in a variety of systems such as a CRM, a tab management system, or any financial system. This here on this executive summary tab that we have the learning impact and results report that shows MTM data. Then we have this key measures where we've identified some business outcome measures that we want to be able to track, and we're looking at that alongside the learning data. If I go further down, you'll notice a few different business outcome measures that are being tracked here. So learning investment per participant, for example, business outcomes around customer satisfaction score, employee engagement score, retention rate, and so on. The dashboard is very flexible. You'll notice there's multiple tabs at the top, so you can add tabs, remove tabs, and you can also create different views. So we have my dashboard. There's a corporate university dashboard, a professional learning evaluation dashboard, as well as a dashboard that's been divided out by strategic programs. This helps you create a dashboard that's catered to your audience so that the right individuals are seeing the right data. Moving more into the reporting side, here's an example of a quick question report. This is one of the more commonly used reports, as it's a great report to send potentially to instructors after each class. At the very top, we have all of the different categories that have collected data with the distribution of scores across the Likert scale and what that translates into in terms of an average score. Further down in the report, it shows each of the categories broken out by question. For example, alignment only has one Likert question contributing to the category score, whereas results has a few different multiple choice questions that are also available. The report can also include qualitative data, so we can take a look at some of the comments that were collected as well. At the top of the report, and you'll notice this across all of the reports that we'll see today, the number of collaboration tools. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to communicate the data and take action on the data. Now the report you can download to PDF or Excel. You'll also notice you can schedule these reports. Again, for example, this is a report that you could schedule for all instructors to receive after each class. Moving more comprehensive reporting is a cross-tab report. This looks at courses by question categories, but certainly you could run this report a number of ways if you wanted to look at courses by instructors, for example, for some trainer-type data. This issue for each of these different courses, how did you perform within each of these categories? Red, yellow, and green indicates how does that score rank against a benchmark. Red indicating below the benchmark, green is above the benchmark, and yellow is in line with the benchmark. Looking at a report like this, you can easily see that business results has a lot of red in the column. So you can focus on that and understand and drill down into why there's some areas for improvement within this business results category. We can mark within MTM not just at the category level, but also also at the question level, and the report card does just that. At the very top, we have benchmarking at the category level, so similar to what we saw on the report, but now looking overall at each of these categories, how did we perform against the benchmark, where orange is the benchmark. If we're down the report, I now start to see the benchmarking at the question level. For example, at a business results category, I notice that overall the category is performing below the benchmark. How I drill down into the questions, I notice that the post-event question is actually where that question is performing below benchmark. The follow manager data is actually performing above the benchmark. An area where you want to focus on ensuring that participants are actually seeing the application of the training back on the job so that they can make the connection and feel that the training is actually going to improve their job performance. The sentiment report starts to look beyond just the quantitative data into the qualitative data to really tell the full story. Here again, broken it out by courses, and at the top we see this red, yellow, green coding again. What it tells you is the number of positive responses for each of these courses, those that are balanced, and then those that are negative. And the legend here tells you exactly what's considered positive, balanced, and negative. Down below, for each of the positive, balanced, and negative responses that were received, the comments are broken out. So, for example, if I look at communicating as a leader, there are 29 comments that came from those individuals that overall rated the course positively. So there's 27 comments that came from those that perhaps rated the course negatively. I can click on the comment number here and generate an actual comments report so that I can take a look, class, what were the exact comments that were made, what was valuable about the class, what was least useful, how is the training going to be applied, and how can the training be improved. You'll also notice that most of these comments are longer than 5 words. As a part of this report capability, we also wanted to ensure that the data is valuable. So we removed any comments that are less than 5 words. The ROI card is a report that does provide you with ROI. However, even if that's not necessarily something that you're looking to calculate, it's a great report to be able to compare post-event, follow-up, and manager data. If I look at the job impact category here, I can see that there are some red sections, so application of knowledge and skills on the job, percent of work time, criticality. These scores actually went up significantly looking at the follow-up data, and step even further if I look at the manager data. This is a great story to say that once they actually did go back on the job, they saw the application of knowledge and skills and that they did find some criticality of the training back on the job. Down in the report, it goes into some time to job impact barriers to use. So within the actual follow-up data, if they weren't able to utilize the training, it gives you a sense of why they weren't able to utilize the training. Job performance change, business results. Again, all of these really do show where you were at on the post-event, the follow-up, and the manager. Find return on expectations section to see if the training was really a worthwhile investment in career development for the individual as well as for the employer. And then at the end, there's a return on investment section. If you did want to calculate that, when running this report, you could provide the system with average cost per person and the salary per person, and then using an estimation, isolation, and adjustment, it would calculate the ROI. We're going to go back into looking at some of the different modules that we have. All the reports that I shared with you are available within the Professional Learning Evaluation of Metrics That Matter. In addition to the Professional Learning Evaluation, Metrics That Matter offers a number of what we call add-on modules. The dashboards you had a chance to see today during the demonstration, as the dashboard does really complement the Professional Learning Evaluation very nicely. It takes the data and provides a nice graphical summary. The executive reporting module is another such module that really complements the learning data. It puts together the effectiveness, efficiency, and outcome data into a narrative report that can be shared with executives and really is more in business language rather than learning and development language. The Info Learning module is available to provide organizations with a way to measure social learning. So this could include SharePoint, communities of practice, mentoring programs, anything that's taking place outside of the formal setting. 360s are available to do performance evaluations. These could also be tied specifically to particular training programs, leadership programs, onboarding programs where there are competencies that are looking to be impacted as a result of the training. So doing a pre and post assessment and ensuring that there are actual impact on the competencies. Project allows organizations to really measure the impact of a project, making sure that the project is completed in time, what did the processes look like, what were the project outcomes, and also doing some team member evaluations. Often referred to as level 2 is available for organizations that do want to do more of a knowledge test. These are scored assessments that provide a way of confirming that knowledge gain actually occurred after training. Change is a way to formalize manager support. On the post-event evaluation and the follow evaluations, you notice that there's some questions around manager support. Check-in to change takes that a step further and really formalizes the process with the participant and the manager setting goals and then tracking progress against those goals to really ensure that action is being taken as a result of the training. Conferences that are available for more of the multi-day, multi-track type conferences as well as training sessions that an organization may have to be able to evaluate down to the individual session level. Thank you for taking the time to listen through the demonstration of Metrics That Matter. If you do have any further questions or would like to learn more about any of the technology knowledge advisors, please contact us at the information shown on the screen. Thank you.